right, so y'all know I'm a bit of a systems and like tech nerd when it comes to organizing your business or planning your content or whatever. And I used to really love Trello. And then a few years ago, I switched to ClickUp, which I still absolutely love. But I've been hearing all this buzz about Notion. So I decided to teach myself Notion, to figure it out, to look into it, and to really put together a video so you can see which of these systems might work best for you and your processes and your business and all the things. So we're going to compare ClickUp and Notion right now. Hey, howdy, hey, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. What is up? If you are new here, my name is Jessica Stansberry, and I'm excited that you're here. Go ahead and hit the little subscribe-y button below. We got some more fun things coming your way. And listen, I actually filmed this entire video a few weeks ago. Filmed an entire video on Notion versus ClickUp. But honestly, throughout the whole video, I kind of felt like I wasn't doing Notion enough justice. I had these ideas in my head of things you couldn't do on Notion and things you could do on Notion. I just wasn't really giving Notion the credit it deserved. But I still would have told you Notion is not even remotely a competitor to ClickUp because they're two totally different systems. And I don't see how someone who would love ClickUp would also love Notion. And so I filmed this whole video, right? And I'm Notion, I see its point, but meh. And then I get on Facebook and I read this post from a friend of mine, Alexis Christina, who is an accountant and she has clients and stuff. And this is what it says. ClickUp was amazing. I was totally obsessed until I booked out my practice. Then it didn't serve me. Today, I finally successfully migrated my task management system to Notion, and I'm going to be able to serve all my clients so much better and more efficiently. Bye, ClickUp. And then she goes on to talk about how entrepreneurs need to find systems to run their business. And I literally was like, I don't understand. I literally filmed a video yesterday about Notion and ClickUp, and I can't even remotely believe Notion would do better for working with clients. What does it do better and more efficiently in your process than ClickUp? And she went on to talk about some customizations, and then we just kind of decided to get on the phone and chat about it. So now I have a way better understanding of where Notion kind of fits into the puzzle and where ClickUp kind of fits into the puzzle. And if you're confused, just as a whole, they're both systems that will help you organize your business and your content, and so is Trello and Asana. You'll hear a lot of people talk about Asana and Trello and ClickUp and Notion because those are kind of the big dogs. There's also Monday and some other services. So if you are looking for a system to organize your business, you definitely need something, okay? And I absolutely love ClickUp. So let me just clear the air right now and tell you that I know exactly who would want to use Notion and who would want to use ClickUp. Pretty well, there are some things that Notion can't do that ClickUp can, and vice versa. And there's also some things we're going to talk about when we get into the nitty-gritty here. But for the most part, the way you want to look at this is Notion is insanely customizable. Insanely customizable to the point where you have to customize it. There's nothing built into it out of the box that you can just click something and create a new place to keep up with things. You have to customize it or use templates, okay? But it's insanely customizable. It's beautiful. You can make it look however you want it to look. That is Notion, okay? ClickUp is more of an actual project management system. That is how it was built, right? And it is very much so more streamlined. So when you click to create a list or a space or a view or whatever in ClickUp, you only have the options built into ClickUp. There's not a ton of customization that goes into it other than customizing how you see it or what things are called. You can't completely customize a view in ClickUp. So that being said, if you enjoy and can stick to, that's the disclaimer here, bullet journaling, you'll like Notion. You'll love it actually, because it's completely customizable. It's completely beautiful. You can make it be what you want it to be, and everything is at your fingertips to customize it. But if you are someone who really just needs a system that is built out and you need to use it, and that's how you organize things, you're going to like ClickUp. I would say you have to be insanely type A and really organized and really on top of the game to get out of Notion what it serves, okay? And then with ClickUp, it automatically has everything built in you'll need, and there's not really a lot of like thought that goes into how I want this page to look or how I want this thing to be. So for me personally, like I love how customizable Notion is. I love how cool it can look and how you can put things on it, and I'll explain all that in a minute. But it would be entirely too much work for me and entirely not out of the box enough. I need something where if I have an idea or I have something I want to add, I can just pop in, create something new, and go on about my day. I don't need to have to customize everything I do. And when I have to, I get really hung up in that process, like making it look pretty or whatever the scenario is. So that's kind of how I see these two systems playing out. So I want to talk about the few things that are different inside of Notion and ClickUp and kind of compare them as a whole, but I feel like I need to show you each one of them first. So I have my laptop here. We're gonna just jump in here and look at each one of these systems. So this is just a page I mocked up in Notion as like a dashboard, because if you don't have some kind of dashboard where everything kind of sits, you're going to have to constantly be over here in this list of pages and looking through things. And you can favorite them and you can organize them, but if you don't have a dashboard where everything kind of lives, at least in certain subcategories, you're going to get confused. So this was just something that I mocked up and put together. And actually, this was the thing that I put together when I created a digital product. So I haven't changed it. So you can embed things, you can, bring things from one space into a dashboard or whatever, but everything has to be customized. Like if I go to add a page, this is how it starts off. Like this is what it looks like. So if I wanted it to be in like a Kanban system, I can do that. I can pretty well do all of the same views in Notion as I can do in ClickUp, but they have to be set up by me, or I have to install a template of some sort to make that happen. Now, Alexis actually really touted templates and said that there was a guy named Thomas J. Frank here on YouTube that she had gotten several templates from, and that those templates had really changed the way she used Notion and her understanding of Notion. So I'll definitely link him below if that's something you want to look at. But if I want to set up a page to manage my content, and I'll show you in a minute how I have it in ClickUp in a certain way, I can do all of that in Notion. I can make it look very similar to ClickUp. However, it's a very, very creatively heavy and step heavy process. That's what I will say about Notion and ClickUp. So for example, this is my content calendar, okay? So this is in ClickUp. This is my content calendar. And I have it as a board view, and we have a list view, and we have a calendar view. I really like to see my content on a calendar view. So you can see here that today we're releasing Notion versus ClickUp. There's an AnyTask sponsorship happening in this video, just fair warning. And like, whatever. And then I can actually see on my calendar where all of my content is. And then on the board view, I have it as open, sponsored, ready to be edited, ready to be uploaded, etc. This is kind of the view I thoroughly enjoy. I want to know that I can move things through this process, and I want to know that I can look on a calendar view and see like, oh, today I'm releasing this video. When I sit down to film, I know what videos are coming next. When I'm planning out my content, it's all right here, right? And this was like a couple of buttons, okay? So if I wanted to duplicate this, first of all, I could totally duplicate it, and then you could do that in Notion too. So once you have it set up in Notion, it's okay. But let's say I wanted to recreate this, and I want to show you how easily it is to like get a calendar view and get a Kanban view where things move through a process, okay? So I'm in ClickUp, and I'm just gonna do new list, test content calendar, okay? So automatically it's just gonna add it with a list view and a board view. So everything is here that I want to be. Now, because I created it in the like content calendar section in the YouTube section, it already has these headlines for me, essentially these statuses for me. So like that's it. I could go in and put a video here, and when it's done, move it over to videos and queue, and move it over to ready to be edited or whatever. If I want to add that calendar view, it's literally a click, okay? So add view. So now, again, if I want to go right here and I want to say test video, okay, and I want to hit save, I can now go in here, I can change this one's status, I can add the people, I can do the things I need to do with my content, right? In Notion, if I wanted to do this, I would have to probably get a template from someone else because I don't know the best way to set this up, right? So if I wanted to just, let's say, just go ahead and create a board view, I can do that, but I have to do everything manually to set it up. So test content, calendar, and I want to change this status. So in queue, I didn't spell Q right. We're just not going to care about that. Ready to be edited, ready to be uploaded. And then we're going to add another status that's like uploaded and scheduled. Okay, and we're going to move it over here. Okay, so I've now set that up, but with each new space or new page in Notion, I have to kind of tell it what I want it to have. So automatically in here, in ClickUp, it knows that I want to have due dates. I want to have people assigned to this. I could have subtasks, things like that. So in Notion, if I want to add like test video, then I click on that and I can assign it. I would obviously have to have people, but what's really interesting is like, you have to set these properties. It's all built out on like a table. So if I want to have like a due date, I would have to add that as a property. So if I want to assign it, let's just say I'm going to assign it to me because I have nobody else in my Notion. Status, I can change its status here based on what I just set up. And then let's say I want to have a due date, okay? And then I would have to set it there. So like due date here. Let's say I wanted to add a file. I would have to add it as a property and then add the file there. Whereas here I could just literally drag and drop it in. So it's just so much more manual. I can set everything up the same. And so like if I wanted to look at this as a calendar view, I can add calendar view here and hit create, and then I can still see it on the calendar view. But what I don't see on this calendar view is what status it's on, right? So like here, I can literally see that it's on videos in queue if I want to. Here I don't see what status it is. So you would have to create like a database on this page to show you what's in what status if you wanted to see the calendar view in addition to that. Does that make sense? So everything's just so much more manual in Notion. I have a lot more to tell you about, but it's so freaking pretty outside today. So I thought we could take a little detour for a minute, go see the cows, and I could tell you about today's sponsor, AnyTask. AnyTask is a freelance platform that allows you to sit in the driver's seat and get crap done without you actually having to be the person to get it done. Oh, this camera's heavy. Hold on, let me set you down. You see the cows? They're looking at me like, what in the world are you doing, lady? Okay, so if you're someone who is trying to get your business off the ground, you're just getting started on YouTube, you're just getting started in business, which is most of you here watching this video, AnyTask can be an awesome resource for your back pocket, and you can get things done for as little as $1. There's a lot of really fun things about AnyTask, but the fact that you get 100% payment protection with AnyTask protection, and that their mission is to help sellers who don't have access to things like bank accounts make a living that they may not have been able to do before. And to get help with things like photo editing or social media design or even video editing, all you have to do is go to the link below in the description or go to heyjessica.com/AnyTask and you can get started hiring that out so you have more time and less things on your plate for just $1. All right. Let's get back to the video. And so when I look at comparing them, that's what I really see is like the manual parts of it. Also built into ClickUp here, I can literally just see only tasks that are assigned to me. I can toggle that on and off. I can see subtasks inside of each task really quickly with the push of a button because it's just built in. Here, if I want to do that, I have to add a filter where the assignee contains like my name, and I would have to hit done there, and then you'd have to add each filter as you want it. So it's insanely customizable. Notion is insanely customizable, but also almost in a bad way, because if you're like me, I don't need to think about what I want all of this crap to look like. I just need it to work like I want it to work, right? And while the idea of having a daily dashboard where I have my Spotify playlist embedded and, having my to-do list set up like this is really cool to me, I really just need things to work. Now, do I wish ClickUp had a little bit more of customizations now that I've kind of seen the possibilities? Sure. So for instance, I think it would be nice here on this content calendar to have like a little section over here on the right or somewhere that has my content pillars. So as I'm filming videos, as I'm planning out my content, I have content pillars that I stick within, so I know like, these are the kind of things I want to talk about. And it would be nice if I just had that here and I didn't have to go somewhere else to look for it while I was planning my content. So I can see the benefits from both. And you can work with a team in ClickUp, and it's definitely a thing. You can add people and assignees and have them in certain pages and not in others. However, what I did see when I was like kind of exploring Notion with Alexis was that that's not as easy as ClickUp as well. So in Notion, the notifications are kind of buried. So if one of my team members tags me in ClickUp, all I have to do is go here to notifications, and I can do all notifications assigned to me and any mentions to me, and then they're going to all load right here. And in Notion, you would have to kind of set up a section somewhere that fed from your notifications to say like, oh, I want to see all my notifications here. So I would have to like set up a section here to say, I want to see all the times I'm tagged or all the times I'm, mentioned in a comment or whatever. So that's what I mean by manual. Like, it's just very like you have to set it up in the way you want it set up, which is both a good and a bad thing. Also, there's no real automations built into Notion. However, you can finagle it around and make it work. So for instance, and I've showed this before, I think, but for instance, here in my content calendar for the Rebel Squad, which is my like membership community where I do like fun long podcast episodes and daily short ones and things like that. When I change I have an automation set up where when I change the status from idea to recorded and ready to upload, it automatically changed the assignee to Bridget on my team. So I don't have to do anything. I don't even have to click into this card. If I have went through here and I've recorded these, I just hover over it and change the status, and ClickUp will notify her that something has been changed. That's not really something you can do in Notion. I had her kind of explore that with me, and you'd have to set up like a section that said show everything that's in this status. Like, you'd have to set each team member up a section, and if you have multiple of those automations you need to be happening, I feel like it would get really convoluted really, really fast. So Notion's super cool. You can add, header images and GIFs and Spotify playlists and make the pages look really cool and pretty and exactly what you want, right? And you absolutely can have this set up however you want it with those same views that you're used to in Asana or ClickUp or Trello or whatever. However, it is much more convoluted. It's much harder to make everything look the way you want it to look. You're going to have to go grab a template from someone, and everything seemed much more technical to me. And I'm a techie person, right? So I think I could easily learn Notion, but for the average viewer, I think it's very technical and has a steep learning curve. While ClickUp has a steep learning curve, I don't think it's as steep as Notion, which, by the way, if you've made it this far in this video, I actually have a ClickUp course. If you're wanting to learn how to use ClickUp, I have a ClickUp course. I will link that below in the description if you want to grab it. It's only 27 bucks, so if you're like, wait, I want to learn how to do this, it comes with templates, it's all the things. But with ClickUp's dashboards and their like different views and things like that, I don't feel like there's anything that Notion can do that ClickUp can't do from a productivity and organization standpoint. The real things that stand out that Notion can do that ClickUp can't are the customizations, like adding a cover photo or making things a little bit prettier, changing colors, changing font, embedding things like that. That's not really what ClickUp is built for. However, if I wanted to set up a dashboard with those types of things, I can. If I wanted to set up a dashboard in ClickUp where I kind of wanted a similar look to Notion, I can do that. Everything's just in a widget here. So I can totally custom embed a Spotify playlist or a YouTube video or a Twitter feed if I want to keep my eye on a certain like Twitter thing or whatever. And so getting back to what I was saying, if we're going to say like what can Notion do that ClickUp can't, it's mostly going to be the pretty customizations, like the pretty parts. But what can ClickUp do that Notion can't? It's like built for you out of the box. You're not the one having to program the literal system to do what you want it to do. And two, it has automations, and I think makes going through processes much, much easier. I think it takes a very special brain to want to use Notion. And that's not a problem. I just think it's different. I would not want to have to customize everything or pull in templates or do all of that stuff just for the pretty parts, right? So it really depends on your brain. Hopefully this shows you a good look at kind of what is what. Another quick little thing that I like made sure I asked about because it's one of the important parts to me. So if I go into ClickUp and I click everything and I'm looking on a calendar view or a board view or a list view, I'm literally going to see everything across all of the spaces in my ClickUp in one view. I can then toggle to assign to me or who it's assigned to. Watch this. If I click assign to me, it all goes away except for just a few things, which is awesome. By the way, hire some people to help you. But I can see everything on one view, and I can calm this down too. Like it doesn't have to be this crazy, but I can see everything on one view. And you can do that in Notion, but it's very step heavy. It's very convoluted. It's very much so where you have to set up a page here in Notion that's like, you know, I want to see everything on a calendar view. I want to feed in from this table and this table and this table, and you kind of have to set everything up. That is definitely my very biased opinion of the difference in Notion and ClickUp. Like I say, I have a ClickUp course. If you want to sign up for ClickUp, I will link my affiliate link for that below as well. You'll actually get 30% off any of the paid plans if you go through my affiliate link. And if you made it this far in the video, I'd love to hear what project management system you use, because all of our brains don't work the same way, right? And everybody's going to need a different tool. And I think that's awesome. And I think that's totally up to you and what you want to do and what feels good to you. And it is okay if you like Notion better than ClickUp or Asana better than ClickUp or ClickUp better than Trello. All of these are okay. So I would love to hear what y'all are using in the comments below, or maybe what you want to start using if you're not there yet. And until next time, bye y'all.